Jen Wild coming on the air here. Welcome to the show, Jen.
Can you hear me?
And, yeah, I got you. And waiting for Mel to call in here shortly. And I want to encourage anybody else that wants to call in and join the discussion to do so. I want to go ahead and read a couple of things here to get us started again on the topic of how to overcome roadblocks in activism. And the first step to that is most likely going to be you got to be prepared to change your method of approach. You got to identify the roadblocks, and you've got to first see, first of all, what the roadblock is, and you know what kind of roadblock it is. Is it a communication roadblock? Is it an ideological roadblock? You know, why are you not getting your message across to the other person? And on that note, I will open the floor to Jen and see what kind of comments you have.
Okay. Well, along the lines of communicating with people about the movement, one thing that I like to suggest to people is to adjust your expectations and recognize that, you know, we're not a traditional organization. We're not trying to get members of a church, or we're not really actively saying we need you to sponsor us, or all we're trying to do is get someone to share our vision right now. So when you think of it that way, it puts a different context on the interaction. It's not such a hard sell. It's something that's more, I would like to think it's more pleasant to approach it from just very conversational, something that you're excited about, that you want to talk to somebody about and share with them, and to not expect that you're going to show somebody a movie and from that experience they're going to immediately say, well, I agree with everything, where can I sign up and join your local chapter? It doesn't quite work that way, as most have noticed.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Got to really understand where the other person is coming from and what they're going to be willing to accept when you introduce information to them. You know, when you've got an individual who's being resistant and argumentative and possibly even combative to the idea, you got to try and understand why they're reacting in such a way. You know, a lot of people identify their self-worth. You know, their self-identity is linked to their ideas of freedom and their idea of what our social system is. And to overcome this, you've got to understand how they're thinking and how they're associating those ideas, and reassure them that we're not presenting something that constitutes a threat to that. We just want to open up dialogue to what's possible for the future. And we're still, like I said, having technical difficulties on this hour. It looks like Jen was just dropped from the call queue. I don't have Mel calling in yet. And a warning in advance, this is not going to be a full hour show because of even other technical difficulties I'm having here. So I want to just keep on moving with the discussion, and hopefully we'll get some callers. Anybody who's in the chat room, feel free to go ahead and call in so we can get this discussion moving. Another way to approach people, you've got to identify when you're dealing with an individual who just has different facts than you do. You know, someone who just refuses to acknowledge the facts that you're presenting. Well, in this case, a hypothetical might be in order. You got to engage them in a discussion about, in the event of, or if this were true. You can usually get them onto the topic that way. At least in that way, you can try and engage them, get them talking about it. You know, what happens when people don't want to hear anything you have to say at all? And, well, in that case, you might just be barking up the wrong tree. You might just be trying to accomplish something that is not possible. You don't beat your head on the wall. It doesn't serve the movement. Arguing with people who aren't likely to see things your way isn't going to further the cause or convince anybody of what it's going to be. This roadblock is likely one that has no route to overcome it. We've got to find the shortest route to success. And one of the biggest roadblocks the Zeitgeist movement faces as a whole is to find where and who is going to be the most impacted by hearing about our movement. We got to identify what kind of people are going to be most easily reached. Something Peter Joseph mentioned recently in his Blog Talk Radio address is that the time may be coming very soon when we don't have the possibility to continue spreading awareness. Freedom of speech in this country, the United States, has already been abridged by one piece of legislation. The day may be coming soon where that gets expanded, and we're facing the decline of the social situation that may be leading to the impossibility of even being able to reach people with this message. So we've got to be able to identify those that we can get to easily. That's a roadblock we've got to overcome, is understanding who to reach with the message.